Good morning, everyone, and welcome. 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 Good morning. Let's try this again. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. David Anderson had a little bit of an echo there. We are coming to you live this morning from Limerock Park in our 2024 VIP Donor Race here at CMS. We're super excited about it. This is a race that has become a tradition here at CMS, and we do it every year. What we do is have a donation drive in the fall all the way through early winter for the community. And anybody that participates in that donation drive to help us with the cost recovery that's needed to run our community gets a special invitation to this race, and they are able to battle it out, have some fun amongst each other for a really, really cool trophy. So just about to qualify for this year's race, I'm going to bring the entire 75 laps or 60 minutes, whichever comes first to you. And the cars are fixing to get out on the track and start qualifying here. They're going to have a 15-minute open session. I'll give you a little bit of a preview of what to expect here while we're getting them out on the track and getting them going here. And gonna be just a terrific race regardless. So really, really excited about this, and excited to get out here and enjoy this thing for sure. It will be really, really fun. So this year's race, we are going to be using all free content within iRacing, which is kind of a tradition where we typically will pick free content within the sim, and we'll get as many people out here as we can. And mileage varies. Sometimes I think we've had as high as about 20 people, and a little bit smaller field today. We've got about 9 or 10 guys here, but we're in the Ray FF1600 cars, and they are going to run at the Limerock Park GP configuration. So they've got the little chicane. You can see this is Phil Elmore that we're riding along with here. Really, really cool paint scheme that Phil has. And we'll actually just get on board with him and take a lap around the track while he's out here qualifying. One of the first drivers out here. So let me get focused on him. Let's get into his cockpit. We'll watch Phil take a lap around the track here in this little momentum car. Coming down the front stretch, so we've caught him at a perfect time. On the brakes and just pitches it into turn 1, 2, continually turning here. Kind of a classic corner, or set of corners at Limerock. Oh, Phil getting a little bit on the edge there, a little bit loose in the car. Not a whole lot of shifting. Now, he's going to have to slow down here. We're doing the chicane. Like Phil overdrove that just a little bit, but still got through there pretty well, actually. He is our first car out that I believe is going to get a timed lap in here. Actually, looks like Jarrett Skinner got a lap in before Phil did. Phil with a 59.456. So solid lap there to get started and get on the board, especially with that issue that he had with the car getting a little bit loose. Let's get on board here. This is Jarrett Skinner, pole sitter right now, provisionally. One of the things I love about doing this race and bringing it to you guys is that I get the opportunity to talk about some guys that I don't normally get to race with in the iRacing division. So one of the nice things about this race is that we end up with guys from kind of all over the CMS community that come out. Oh, as you can see, a car getting really wide there in the back. But that's kind of nice. It's really kind of nice to have the opportunity to talk about some guys, and Jarrett's one of those guys that I have not had the opportunity to really talk too much about. Love his car, by the way, with the Beatles paint scheme. Can't think of a cooler sponsor to have on the car than that. It's got a very 60s look to it. Jarrett remains in first place here. Last lap was a 56.991. And really, really good taking his vehicle around. Let's watch him go through the last corner here and onto the front stretch. Car off on the right. That's okay in qualifying. You know, you're trying to get everything you can out of it. You get some resets, that type of thing. So Jared has a nice tight line through here. Really hitting his apex as well. Really pitches it through that chicane too. Oh, he's gonna lose it. Really tore the car up there. And has to do a reset. Get on board with somebody else here. Here's Wayne Hutchinson. Wayne in the race this year. Good to see him out here. Wayne, a big supporter of CMS, does a lot of racing in our R-Factor 2 series, a lot of our iRacing stuff. Of course, Wayne is a big supporter of the iRacing community. Looks like he's got a Fred Flintstone car here. Barney Rubble's on it or something as well, but this is a pretty cool car. So this is serious business for the guys that are racing too here today, because not only are they racing for bragging rights and fun, but they're also racing for a trophy here. We will have a really nice trophy to give to the winner. Yeah, it's definitely a Flintstones car. Here's a little bit more traditional paint scheme. Fanatec controllers. This is Kevin Correa. Three cars coming down the front stretch here. So they're about halfway through qualifying right now. By the way, if you're out on the Twitch channel, thanks for tuning in. Come out, talk to me, give me a few comments, ask any questions that you may have. And we'll also get this posted out on YouTube. They're going to do 75 laps today. So right now, about halfway through qualifying, we're riding along with Kevin Correa. Kevin currently in 4th position. And we've got a couple of new folks atop the leaderboard as well. We'll let Kevin finish this lap, and then we'll check in on those. Really, really fast these cars are. It's just amazing how quick they are. I am going to make a small adjustment while I'm in here and get us a little bit more volume out of the cars. There we go. I think we'll enjoy that a little bit more. And as I promised, let's get on board here with our new provisional pole sitter. This is Michael Parker. Michael now up top the leaderboard, has 5 laps in the books, has a 56.608. Kevin Correa, by the way, in P2 at the moment. Michael looking really, really strong here. It's right along behind Michael and use our drone. Watch him take a nice little lap around Limerock Park for us here. About 5 minutes left in qualifying. There's a great view here, getting right behind the car and on top of it. Michael with a really strong lap there that last time, coming down Sam Posey straight, continues to be in the lead. Really hear those tires squealing with Michael's car. Oh, car off on the left there. It's a quick lap around Limerock Park here. Less than a minute to get around. All right, let's take a quick look at the rundown as we kind of get nearing the end of qualifying here. About 4 minutes left. So P9 right now is Phil Elmore. Phil was one of the first cars that we got on board with. All of the cars are pretty competitive on time, within about a second of each other, lap time-wise. So Phil Elmore currently in 9th. Micah Locke is in 8th position. Looks like unless this changes, this is where he will roll off. David James in 7th. Wayne Hutchinson in 6th position. Excuse me, Rodney Campbell in P5. Rodney not currently out on the track. Jarrett Skinner in P4. JT Tammy in P3. Some of these guys are not on the track right now. Kevin Correa and Michael Parker kind of round out our top 5. Actually, they are. Some of them are on the track. I just had a little bit of an issue here. So let's look at the ones that are still on the track. So again, this is Michael Parker. He is our leader. And currently has just a narrowest of margins over Kevin Correa. This is Kevin chasing him. They've still got a little bit of time to get a lap in here. P3 here is JT Tammy. So first time to look at JT's car. Still out on the track. Some beautiful scenes here at Limerock Park. We haven't raced at Limerock Park in a while at CMS too, so it's fun to be out here at this track. Such an iconic venue. Here's Rodney Campbell, currently in 4th on pit road. Jarrett Skinner, who we rode around with earlier there, coming to a stop. Wayne Hutchinson, I'm not seeing Wayne on the track right now, is in P6. David James, I love this paint scheme in the Marlboro Man car, P7. Michael Locke in P8, coming down start-finish line, and then Phil Elmore in P9. So that's where everybody is. It's interesting because Micah Locke here is a rookie with his iRating, so he doesn't spend much time in iRacing, is what that tells me. But he's here today, part of the donor event and VIP event. Phil Elmore is a Class B, and everyone else has a Class A license within iRacing. little bit more than a minute here left for them to get a lap in. See if anything changes. Michael Parker continuing to lead the way. Kevin Correa in second. They are really, really close. Michael bringing it on into the pits. Let's see if Kevin's got anything for Michael here on this last lap. Looks like he's going to bring it into the pits. Comes JT Tammy around the final set of corners. See if JT Tammy can move up to the pole position. He's on a flyer. Nice lap for JT, but not quite enough to move up. While we are switching over to qualifying, I'm going to check one more thing. So apologies for the back and forth here. And yeah, that confirms it. I wanted to make sure I didn't have a specific car cam. All right, cars are going to grid up. In just a moment to get out here.
Some of them were already in iRacing and used all the time. Others reached out and said, hey, I need an account. What do I do? What kind of gear is brake set? I don't know.
And here they come to the grid now. All right, this is going to be exciting. Been waiting for this race and excited about it. Excited to bring it to you guys. So all the cars getting on the grid here. We'll do a quick look here at the starting lineup as they roll off. They are going to have a rolling start behind the pace car. It's funny to look at this pace car too, just how big this thing is compared to all of these vehicles. All right, so to set our starting lineup as they get ready to go into the formation lap, we're going to have 9 drivers in the race, 1 trophy. Hello there, MP. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for watching. This will be our lineup. So on the pole, Michael Parker. On the outside front row, still waiting for him to take the grid, is Kevin Correa. We will have JT Tammy in P3. Rodney Campbell, P4, Jarrett Skinner, P5, Wayne Hutchinson, P6, David James, P7, Michael Locke, P8, and Phil Elmore in P9. And it looks like everybody is on the grid now. And they're rolling off. They're going to do a full pace lap around here. And this is going to be really, really fun. So again, what we're doing, we're at Limerock Park. We're in the Formula Ford 1600 cars. We are Going to run this fun open wheeler for 75 laps. We're at the iRacing version of Limerock Park. Beautiful day. I believe we're simulating about May as far as the date time, middle of May. So just a beautiful time to be at Limerock Park. We're going to do 75 laps or 60 minutes, I believe. So it could be a little less than 75 minutes, but I believe 75 minutes is probably doable for these cars. We are going to have a trophy for the winner. Hopefully, if we have that winner available, we'll get an interview with them. And all of these drivers here in this race with CMS are here by invitation only. And they arrived here by donating in our 2024 donation campaign. So a huge thank you to all of these drivers, as well as all of the other members and drivers at CMS that donated in the drive this year. We could not do this without all of you. This race has become a tradition, and here we go. Let's get ready to enjoy it here. Michael Parker going to lead us off. Kevin Correa on the outside of the front row. Michael in the orange car, Kevin in the red car. They're getting ready to take the green flag here at Limerock Park. Are they going to fan out coming down here into one? Pretty orderly. Michael gets a pretty good start. Looks like JT Tammy moves up into P2. Pretty good little battle going on behind them in the P4 position. Yeah, everybody's kind of settled in. Coming to the chicane for the first time. Oh, one car off in the back there. Like Micah Locke, if I'm not mistaken. Michael Parker going to lead us around the first lap. Ooh, one of the cars getting in the dirt there a little bit. Michael's got JT Tammy all over him here now. JT really in a position to make a move here if he wants to. He is all over the back of Michael. Let's watch this on board for a moment. Looks like Micah Locke may have had an issue. I'll go back and give you guys a preview, or not a preview, but a recap of what happened there in just a moment. We're going to stay with this battle here right up front for at least the moment. Kind of watch what happens as they come around the final corner. Michael seems to have stretched it out a little bit. Let's take a look at what happened to Michael Locke here. Yeah, that was when he just got really slow. That was the replay. So he really didn't wreck so much as he just was slow. He's going again live. Here they are again up front. This is Jarrett Skinner we're riding on board with now in P3. Really close here from 3, 4, 5, 6. Got a tight battle. Looks like Phil Elmore may have had an issue. Let's watch what happened with Phil. Got off in the grass there, but I don't see anything else. Let's watch it again here. Here's Phil. Actually was on the wrong car. Oh. Hit the wall, or hit the curbing really hard. Doesn't look like he damaged anything. And he's going again now. Let's get on board live with Phil. I think the car is okay. Yeah, he seems to be okay after all of that. So here's our battle again up front. It is tight. Got a really tight battle here in third and fourth position as well here. This is Kevin Correa following Jarrett Skinner. Get on board and drive a little bit here with Kevin. Just let you guys enjoy them going around the track here for just a second. Watch this lap. Good stuff. A little bit of a zoomed out view for you here to let everybody kind of see what's going on. We have got a battle up front, though. I tell you, it is really tight between these two. JT Tammy, Michael Parker. They are nose to tail. JT is not going to let Michael out of his sights. Oh! Big wreck there in the back. Looks like Rodney Campbell. Let's watch this. Oh, Rodney just locking it up. Full lock. Didn't hit anything. That's about the fastest part of the racetrack where that happens, and Rodney just was really pitching it in there into that final corner, trying to keep all that momentum, which you gain a ton of momentum there when you do it right. Luckily for Rodney, he didn't hit anything. Car looks okay. So we've had a couple of issues here this morning where guys have had some problems, and but they've been able to kind of stick with it. This is the best battle on the racetrack right now. We've got Kevin Correa all over Jarrett Skinner. It looks like he's going to try to make the move. Jarrett trying to break the little draft down the front stretch. A little bit of a block here. Look at this battle between these two. Terrific. Both of these cars were really, really quick in practice. Just ahead of them, the leaders. Nothing changing there. We'll keep a close eye on this battle, but let's do a quick field rundown. Give you guys an opportunity to kind of see where everybody is. So P9 right now is Phil Elmore. We saw Phil have that issue early on in the race where he got the curbing in the chicane and really sort of pitched him around, and he had to, you know, kind of reverse the car, get back going again, and that was tough, right? So Phil currently running in ninth. By the way, it's great to see Phil out here, longtime supporter of CMS, you know, one of the original members. Doesn't get out to race just a whole lot other than in the CMS endurance team, and just terrific to see him out here. A dear friend of mine, and glad he's out here in the race. Micah Locke currently in P8. Micah also had some trouble early in the race, a couple of offs. He overshot a corner. Managed to kind of gather it back up, though, and it's going okay here now. So Micah is our least experienced iRacer in the field with the rookie I rating, but glad that he's out here. Rodney Campbell, who we also saw had some trouble in P7 right now. That is this second white car here, number 62. And he's having a pretty good little battle despite all of that with David James. That's David James just ahead of him in P6. So pretty good little battle here. Wayne Hutchinson kind of up on his own. Wayne's the one driver a little bit in no man's land. Wayne right in the middle of the pack, P5. And turning some solid lap times, but just about 8 seconds off the leaders right now. Kevin Correa now has fallen back a little bit from Jarrett Skinner. So these are our top four. This is Correa in the red car. Skinner just ahead of him here in this yellow machinery. And then up front, they are still pretty dang close. It's about 4/10. It's what separates JT Tammy to Michael Parker. Both of these drivers are champions here at Champion Motorsports, and if I'm correct, and I apologize if I don't get this correct, but I believe they might be the only two champions in the field. So rightfully so, they are up front. Oddly enough, or interestingly enough, I should say, both of them champions in our Porsche Cup Series. So JT was the overall Porsche Cup champion from a couple of seasons ago when we had a combined North American and world division of really, really great Porsche Cup races. And then Michael is the defending champion from the overall series last year. Both of these drivers also run for Pneumatic Racing, so they are teammates as well in our iRacing Team Endurance Series. But they're not teammates today. Having one heck of a race here. It's also gotten close again here now. Kevin Correa all over Jarrett Skinner again. We are literally looking inside of his helmet here. You can see the windshield tear off, needing to come off of this thing. This is the closest battle on the track. While this was going on, it looks like Rodney Campbell got around David James. There's a car spun there in the back, but look at this pass here that Campbell puts on James. That was Micah Locke who had an issue behind them. A good little battle here. Here's Micah Locke's issue. He had another problem in this final corner. Two wheels on, and just car came around on him there. So guys are really pushing it there. And we've seen a couple of cars now come around on that final corner. Michael Parker, last time by, set the fastest lap of the race. A 56.560, and I believe that is faster than what they qualified in. By the way, the drivers do not need to take a pit stop unless they, in other words, we're not forcing them to take a pit stop in this race. unless they need to for fuel. And I don't think they're going to have to on fuel. They might. We're just going to have to kind of see how that is, but I'm pretty sure one of these cars will run 75 laps around here on a tank. They may not. You know, these things may need to come in for fuel because they, I mean, they don't burn a lot of fuel relative to a lot of other things. And Michael Parker is holding a pretty wheel there. Right along with him a little bit. JT Tammy, though, is all over him. Here's JT, same view. It's a really, really great view because you can really see everything they're doing with their hands with this view. And again, kudos to all these drivers. Everybody from first through ninth with Phil Elmore are within a second of each other lap time-wise. And so everybody is competitive. Every single car out here is competitive. Really see the car moving around with JT here. This battle for the lead and the battle for P3 and P4 is what we're watching, and it is tight. In fact, JT Tammy just set the fastest lap last time by, taking that over from Michael Parker. Ooh, Correa looking. He's looking. Is he going to make a move? Skinner just running the perfect line to just make sure he stays behind him. There's our leaders just ahead, you can see. Looks like Kevin might have a little bit of a push in his car. All right, well, while we watch these battles, one of the things that I like to do is talk a little bit about the guys here, and I've got, you know, enough of them here that I think I can talk about just about everybody. So let's start by talking a little bit about our leader, Michael Parker. So Michael mentioned before, a champion here at CMS. I will let you know, by the way, if there is a position change for anything that I'm not covering. I'll go back and I'll catch it, and we'll watch it in real time or as close to real time as possible. We got a heck of a battle here, though, up front. Michael Parker, been with CMS now quite a long time. I actually met Michael here in Texas when he was part of the Sports Car Club of America, Texas region. We sponsored his car. He was a aspiring and up-and-coming autocrosser with Sports Car Club of America. Later moved out to California, where he and his wife live now, and has been doing a whole lot more sim racing the past few years, which we have been just privileged to have him here in our community. Just really the model of what you would want in a member of a community and a champion, and just holds himself to such high accountability and standards of his own on and off the track. So Michael's our leader, and he is under heavy pressure for JT Tammy, John Taylor Tammy, and we used to have the elder Tammy in the races with us, and JT's been with us a long, long time now, many years himself. Primarily most active in our R Factor 2 community. That's sort of what I identify JT with, but also does a lot of iRacing. I think those are kind of his two primary sims. Dabbles in a little bit of everything. JT is really kind of a unsung hero, a quiet leader at CMS. He's someone that is consistent and always level-headed, has a great voice with the other members, holds guys accountable. They respect him. You know, he's a driver, and this is about the highest praise I can give someone. Reminds me a lot of Matt Kenseth. Just a really just level-headed, serious guy on the track. You know, likes to have fun off of it. You know, he's a Star Wars stormtrooper when he's not doing this stuff, literally. And just a phenomenal guy. Jarrett Skinner here in P3. What I know about Jarrett is he is in this really, really cool Beatles car. I wish I could say more about Jarrett. I don't know Jarrett as well as I would like to, but he is having a phenomenal race. And it looks like Jarrett is a fairly experienced iRacer. He's got an A-class rating, 1.5K I rating. And looking really, really good here. I'll have to go back and see what all Jarrett's racing in. Gotta take a guess, say some of our iRacing stuff may be a little bit of Assetto Corsa. I may have that wrong. Kevin Correa, also Kevin has been, I believe, in this race before. Definitely a really similar I rating driver to Jarrett. They both got about a 1.5K I rating. I don't know Kevin's backstory as well as I would like to either, but happy that he's here and having a phenomenal race, and hope to be able to see him give this thing a run at the podium. And actually, I believe we are going to stick with this because a little bit of telemetry. We're about to have Kevin maybe try to make this move. He's really pushing Jarrett. Let's stay with this just a minute. Wow, looks like Jarrett goes way inside there. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to make the move. He's going to stay with him here. So we'll go on down the field here a little bit further. Wayne Hutchinson. Wayne continues, poor guy, to be by himself here on the track. He's having a bit of a lonely race, but a good race nonetheless. 5th position here. Love having Wayne in the community. You know, Wayne has a tremendous amount of experience. He's part of our 50-plus crowd, which I'm proud to be in myself. Wayne, a fellow admin, does a lot of work with the Major Series and iRacing, does a lot of racing, both not only in iRacing but R Factor 2. Really a strong advocate for the iRacing platform, has been involved very, very early, has been a real regular participant at CMS now for quite some time. Part of our VIP Champion Circle program and a big supporter of the community. So just happy to see Wayne out here Just a kind of guy you want to find yourself on the track around. I typically find myself on the track with Wayne quite a bit, and I always really enjoy running with him. Rodney Campbell is in P6. Rodney now a little bit on his own as well. We saw the spin that he had earlier. And Rodney races some of our oval stuff. He's been in some of our Friday night iRacing truck series. I believe he's been doing some of the Wednesday night iRacing stuff as well. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, an iRacer by nature. And good to see him out here. This is a really good battle here that we've got going on. Michael Locke and David James. And glad that we're on this. We could talk about both of these guys. I'll start with David in the Marlboro car. Man, they are all over each other here. David James, I love David. Looks like we might have a pass. Micah's going to make it work. And he is around David. What a great battle here for this 7th and 8th position. So Micah Locke gets around David James. We'll stay on the Marlboro car with David James. David, what I love about David and having him in the community is he participates in a lot of things. He's here today. He does a lot of our AMS2 races when we get those going. You can find him in an iRacing event. He kind of likes I think he's the kind of guy that likes a special event, and can always count on him to be participating in these things, trying something new and different. He likes to dabble, and I love guys that like to do that. I think David's just perfect for that kind of stuff. Micah Locke, we talked about a little bit before. I don't know Micah real well. I think maybe an Assetto Corsa driver here in the community. Obviously a new driver to iRacing with the rookie iRating. You could tell that he does not get out here that often, but doing pretty well. He's had a couple issues. He has to clean it up a little bit, but he's definitely got the pace to do well. And then Phil Elmore in P9. We talked about Phil. I think Phil gets the award today for coolest paint scheme. I mean, who doesn't like an Evel Knievel car? And that's what Phil is in. And I think the world of Phil. We're friends off the racetrack. I've known him a long time. Met him through CMS. Phil and I do some real-world racing together, which we really love doing. We're both enthusiasts of Miatas. Our families like to get together. Phil doesn't get the opportunity to race just as much as he would like to, but I gave him an invitational here this morning to the event. He wanted to get out here and run, and I'm glad he's here. He's not having the race that he wants to have. He's fallen a lap down now, but, he's out here and he's competing. And really, honestly, his times are not poor at all. He's competitive. Just some of these guys are just really fast in this race. So that's the field rundown. That's what we've got going on right now, and really still feel like it's kind of anybody's race here. Michael Parker has stretched out a little bit of a lead over JT Tammy. You can see that gap has grown now to about 1.5 seconds. And I am starting to wonder if some of these cars are going to need to take tires or fuel. It's going to be interesting for sure. Kind of am hopeful that we do get a pit stop. I don't know that we will, but I am interested to see if we do. They've not quite halfway through the race. Race is going to be about 1 hour and 10 minutes long. Things have kind of settled down a little bit now. Kevin Correa chasing Jarrett Skinner continues to be the closest battle on the track. This is Kevin. Looks like Rodney Campbell might have had an issue. Let's see what happened here with Rodney. Oh, don't hit anything. Hold on to it, Rodney. That is the second time we have seen Rodney have an issue there. Let's go back and watch this again. Let's watch it through his cockpit. Grab a gear and go. No harm, no foul. And here he is again out on the track, so he's good. Don't see any damage in the car, so I think he's okay. Also getting a report that Phil Elmore is off the pace here. Let's see what's going on with Phil. He may have just been letting some traffic go there. Fell a lap down and is making sure that he doesn't get in the way of some of these top 5 guys. So just a courteous move on Phil's part. And this remains our closest battle. Correa behind Skinner. Just kind of sit and watch this for a lap or two. Making a little bit of progress. So this battle's getting close again. I think David James has had an issue. Here's David. It's off track in turn 1. And looks like David may have towed to the garage. He did, and he is out of the car. So I think we might have had our first casualty. Yeah, David James. Something broke on the car there, obviously. And he is retired. And this battle here has gotten hot and heavy again here with Correa and Skinner. Ooh, looks like Kevin might go for the pass this time. Wondering if Skinner's starting to see some of the effects of the tires. Kevin has really closed up on him again. He's got him here. Gonna go to his outside. It's a drag race down the front stretch. Can Kevin clear him? He's got the position. Oh, he bobbles. And he wrecks. Oh! Correa threw it away. Wow, now he's got to get back on the saddle and go at that again. Oh, how frustrating. And, you know, Jarrett Skinner did everything he needed to there to just make him find a way to make it stick on the outside, and he couldn't do it. Let's watch that again. Here it is. He bobbles. And around it goes one more time. Little bit of a bobble, you see. Just couldn't make it stick. Round the car goes. And so that has dropped him now about 5 seconds back. Whereas, meanwhile, our leader up front here, Michael Parker, now has put another car a lap down. He's gotten around Micah Locke. So Michael is really, really, really starting to show his strength. He's got about a 2.2 actually just 2 seconds even over JT Tammy in second. So Michael's starting to flex his muscles here, and might be getting pretty close to securing another trophy through CMS. He's already got one, I know for sure, for that Porsche Cup Championship, and he may be eyeing his second here today for the VIP race. So one of the things I like to talk about is just a little bit of the history of some of these races. So let me give you guys a little bit of a history here. We first started this race in 2024. That was the first year that we did the race. And, excuse me, 2021 was the first year that we did the race. And that first year we did a single class. It was prototypes, radicals actually, and Christian Muller was the inaugural winner of the race and took down that first trophy. Second year, 2022, we did multi-class. We did a sports car division and a touring car division, and Mark Johnson was the winner in the sports car division. Mark Leclerc, the winner in the touring car division. Last year, 2023, we also did a multi-class race. Oh, we got a car coming to the pits here. This is Michael Parker. So stand by. I will be back on this in a minute. Michael coming into pit road. So this tells us what we needed to know. Bill Elmore is on pit road. So everyone pitting. So they did need to pit for fuel at a minimum, possibly tires. We see Elmore going now. Let's stick here with Parker's pit stop. Little past halfway. I'll come back to the rest of the history of the event in a little bit. Parker's sitting here still taking his service. It takes a little while to get your service done in these cars. All right, Michael's going again. That hands the lead over to JT Tammy. Let's see if JT's going to come to the pits. Kevin Correa is on pit road. Everyone but JT Tammy has pitted so far. A couple of guys are on pit road right now as we speak. So I've got to think that they need fuel is what it is. Yep, here comes Tammy. So let's watch his pit stop. Coming down pit road. I'll reset the order once everybody's finished their stop. Still a couple of cars on pit road. You can see guys coming on and off. David James, the only car to have retired from the race. Everybody else still running. One of the things that we love about iRacing and the simulation is that it really sort of does a good job simulating length of pit stop based on the class and type of car that you're running. So these Formula Ford 1600 cars, it takes the crew a little bit longer to work on it than it would, like a Wood Brothers NASCAR pit stop. JT on the rev limiter. And he's back out. That was actually one of the faster pit stops. That's Parker ahead of him, I believe. I think JT gained a little time there, maybe. Here they come up over the hill. So let's use this as an opportunity now that everybody's been down pit road to reset our order. So Michael Parker remains in first place. Made a pit stop a little bit after halfway of the race. It's a 75-lap race. So really, I think they actually came in right about halfway. Took tires, or took fuel for sure. I don't know that they took tires. Hard for me to see if they did. Yeah, it doesn't give me that data easily on whether or not they took tires. I could probably get the data, but I don't think that we need to necessarily. But JT Tammy chasing Michael Parker here continues. No change there. First and second place. That's about a 1.4 second gap. Back in P3 is Kevin Correa. So interestingly enough, Correa, after that trouble that he had earlier trying to get around Jarrett Skinner, is actually quite a bit of ways ahead of Skinner now. Wayne Hutchinson has moved up to fourth. Skinner has had some sort of a problem. I'll see if I can't figure that out here for us in a moment. Rodney Campbell in fifth now. Micah Locke in sixth. Here's Jarrett Skinner in seventh. And Phil Elmore in eighth. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened to Jarrett Skinner. And I'm not seeing anything obvious. I'm thinking he just had a really slow pit stop. And he did. So I'm looking here at the times on the pit stops, and this gentleman here, Skinner, had the slowest pit stop of anybody. He had a total time on the lane of 1 minute and 5 seconds. Whereas JT Tammy, the fastest pit stop was 56.8. So Skinner lost a ton of time on pit road. I don't know what happened there. Maybe he had a hard time getting into his box. Something along those lines. But field is now spread out a little bit. So for the cars running, we've got 1 lap down Phil Elmore, who we ride along with here. Jarrett Skinner is 1 lap down, just ahead of Phil. Micah Locke is 1 lap down. And then when we get to our cars on the lead lap, we've got 5 of them on the lead lap. Rodney Campbell is in 5th, about 50 seconds behind the leader. Wayne Hutchinson has benefited from all this and moved up to 4th. So Wayne chasing a potential podium. He's got a little bit of work to do. They're spread out on the track right now. Kevin Correa up ahead. So Kevin in our final podium spot, about 16 seconds behind the leaders. And then this continues to be our best battle on the track. And JT Tammy has gained on Michael Parker, both on pit road, and he's a little quicker right now. Last time by, JT did a 56.3. Michael did a 56.5. So we'll ride along here with JT and just kind of watch this for a little bit. While they continue to run. He's definitely catching him a little bit right now, so we'll see if he can make the tires last and everything. But anyhow, back to what I was talking about earlier with the history. This is now our 4th annual CMS VIP Donor Race, and in 2023, we also had a fun multi-class. We had 2 production classes, and we had Matteo Sceptura took the trophy in production class 1, and Cameron Barker in production class 2. So this year we're back to a single class, and so there will be 1 trophy to give out here today. Right now, it looks like that trophy has Michael Parker's name all over it. But you never know what might happen. Anything can happen. We did get a report from David James, who was in the race earlier and had to retire, that he had a technical issue which prevented him from finishing the race. Still a pretty good battle here. Get the distinct feeling, though, that Parker kind of feels like he's got it covered. And he's going to drive to the pace that he needs to. In order to just keep JT a little bit behind him. By the way, one of the beauties of a race like this, and one of the things that we just love about CMS as well, is that you have a wide variety of skills here too. We've got on the track still Phil Elmore with a 1300 and Micah Locke with a 1300 I rating, and then Michael Parker out here with a 3600 I rating. So, rightfully so, Michael's going to obviously have the skill to be running up front. But as I talked about, everybody is pretty competitive, and I kind of like that. Go ahead and use this as an opportunity to go back through the field. Oh, Micah Locke with a problem. And he is... Here it is, that final corner. Oh, car's not going to survive this one. Oh, Locke, he had such a solid second half of the race coming. Car's destroyed. Looks like Kevin Correa may have had an issue as well. Oh, Kevin around. Doesn't hit anything. Doesn't lose a ton of time. Let's see if Locke is going again. No, he is... I think Locke is out of the car, and they haven't quite yet made the decision, but I believe this is going to be our second retirement, unfortunately, in the race. So looks like they're doing some damage to it, repair to it now. The drivers do have one fast repair, so it looks like Mike is going to get that fast repair. He had to likely take a tow, so he's just waiting on that to finish, but he's definitely going to lose some time. So it's going to drop him down. So, okay, let's take a look at the field. 7th position, Phil Elmore. Definitely gets the award for coolest paint scheme. The Evil Knievel car. Phil has had a spin early in the race. First couple of laps in, but other than that, he's been pretty solid and nice and steady, and has gained a couple positions in the race. So currently in 7th position. Jarrett Skinner, he's got to be disappointed. Jarrett's fallen back to 6th place. He's 1 lap down now. I think he's kind of lost a little bit of his rhythm. For a little bit there, he was contending podium-wise, but it just didn't stay together for him. Had a slow pit stop, and sometimes when that happens to you, slow pit stop or whatever it may be, you just kind of lose your rhythm a little bit. So I think he's sort of has that appearance of trying to get to the finish at this point. Rodney Campbell. Rodney's had solid pace. He's had a couple of near-death experiences off the final corner. He's had 2 spins. But has managed to keep the car clean and all that. Wayne Hutchinson has probably had the quietest, most uneventful race in 4th position, and just kind of plodding along here, doing well. He hasn't really had very many people to race with, so it's probably a bit of a boring race for Wayne. But sometimes boring races are good races, and he's certainly having a good race here with a solid top 5 in the works. Kevin Correa in 3rd position. Kevin was really, really quick in qualifying, and started on that front row along Parker. Lost that position early to JT Tammy, and then had a heck of a battle back and forth with Skinner for quite a bit of the race. And then that leaves these two, and they are still fairly close. I mean, this is where, Parker can't relax, because that's him just ahead of JT Tammy, and JT's got this at, less than a second and a half. Last time by, JT was 0.3 slower than Michael, but they were negotiating a little bit of lap traffic. So JT's going to have to get up on the wheel. I mean, it's a tall order to ask him to catch Michael Parker. If anybody can do it in this field, though, it is him. These are the two, when I sort of looked at the entries earlier, I felt like these two were probably going to be up here battling. And sure enough, they are. I'm going to see if we can just ride along here with JT for a second, pick up any characteristics of his car, as Michael's just ahead. But see, Michael's having to deal with some lap traffic. So just anything can happen here right now. Sure enough, a car was off ahead. That was Rodney Campbell. A little bit of a blimp view gives you a nice appreciation of the gap here. That's what a 1.5 second lead looks like for Michael Parker over JT Tammy. Coming up on another lapped car. Right on board with Parker here for a minute. 56 laps into the race, so a little less than 20 to go. You know, one of the things that I believe this may be the second time in history of this race that we've done is that it's been on the same day as the Super Bowl. So this is a little bit of our Super Bowl pregame to do this fun race. That's Phil Elmore just ahead of Michael Parker here. It's going to put Phil 2 laps down. Don't look now, but JT continues to close this gap. So it's going to be really critical for JT to make quick work of Phil Elmore here. He's not going to be able to get stuck behind Phil. You know, one of the things we know about Phil, he's a real pro. He's going to be respectful. He's going to hold his line. And so JT's not going to need to worry about Phil, the driver. He's just going to have to make sure he doesn't catch him at a bad spot of the track. And he's all over him in the chicane. So he caught him at a bad section of the track. Just that little bobble where you could see Phil's car a little slower through the chicane. JT carrying a little bit more speed. He got up on him, had to hit the brakes. It was nothing Phil did wrong. He was where he needed to be and doing what he needed to do. It was just bad timing of where he caught him. But that took that 3/10 lead and moved it up to almost 2 seconds. But he's clawed back already. He's got it back to 1.8. So I actually think JT is definitely the fastest car on the track right now. I just don't know if he's going to have enough to catch and pass Parker. Got it down to 1.6, so he's pedaling this thing. There's your gap. There's no other close battle on the track right now. Everyone else is spread out. I will let you know if there's any positional changes that we need to take a look at. And I tell you, JT Tammy he is on it. I mean, he's got that back down to 1.3, so you almost feel like had he not had that little bobble behind Phil Elmore, that he would have it under a second. Just as I say that, Parker turns a little bit quicker lap than he did the time before. Far off on the left again. That might be Micah Locke. Yeah, let's watch that. That was Locke. Whew, that's got to be a scary moment for Parker seeing that happen in front of him. That's why until it is over, you just can't get comfortable. Here they come, 1 and 2. "63 laps complete." Now, let's do one more rundown. Show you where everybody is here. Here's Micah Locke. He's in 8th position. He is currently 4 laps down. Had a pretty bad accident and had to take a fast repair. David James has retired. That's P9. P8 here, Micah Locke. Phil Elmore, P7. Phil is 2 laps down. We just saw him a moment ago with the leaders going around him. Phil's had a solid second half of the race, just hasn't been able to have the pace that he would have wanted to be a little bit higher. But it's been a clean race. Jarrett Skinner, we talked about Jarrett, has kind of fallen back a little bit from where he started, so definitely had a really promising first half of the race, but finds himself back in P6, 1 lap down. Rodney Campbell in P5 is also 1 lap down. Rodney's had 2 or 3 issues during the race. Has luckily avoided any damage to the car. But anything that he's been able to do pace-wise has been sort of negated by those mistakes. Wayne Hutchinson's in 4th position. You know, Wayne's had a super consistent race. So when we get into these from 4th on up, these are the guys that have had just a really, really nice race. Wayne definitely one of those, holding on to the end of the tail end of the lead lap. And I believe he'll finish on the lead lap. So that's, you know, that just kind of shows you this is a solid race, you know, with really high I rating guy leading it. Wayne been able to hang on to the lead lap here. So kudos to Wayne. Great run for him. Kevin Correa in 3rd. Kevin's had a few issues, but definitely has been quick when he's been able to get into a rhythm. I think with take a few of the issues he's had away, and he could be up a little higher. Maybe could have had a little something to compete with JT Tammy. Which brings us to JT. Here he is. He's had just a terrific race. He qualified 3rd, moved up to 2nd right at the start of the race, and has never lost that position. He has never led the race. Actually, I take that back. He did lead a lap or 2 during the pit stop cycle when Parker came in, a lap or 2 before he did. But he's fallen back a little bit now. He's about 1.8 seconds behind Parker. And then that is this man here, Michael Parker. He is the man of the hour right now. Some nice static shots here we're looking at. We're still pretty close. Any bobble by Parker, any sort of trouble, JT is going to be there to take it. Some great shots here at Limerock Park. So again, what's up for grabs here? We've got a really, really cool trophy that we're going to be giving out to our winner. This is our 4th annual CMS VIP Donor Race, 2024 edition. So every year we have a donation drive. It starts usually right around the beginning of October, runs through about January 15th. We ask everybody voluntarily to contribute if they're able. Looks like Kevin Correa has had an issue, folks. Oh no, don't hit anything, Kevin! A lot of smoke there. Is he going to lose a position to Wayne Hutchinson here now? There's Wayne. Alright, this is now a 3-second gap, so... yeah, lost a lot of time there. That's allowed Wayne Hutchinson to move up about 3 seconds behind Kevin now. Yeah, there you can see Wayne in the picture, Kevin just ahead of him, so... never over for positions, so this could be an interesting development happening. We'll have to see how Kevin's tires are. There was a lot of tire smoke after that spin. And that's going to motivate Wayne. Wayne hasn't had a lot of people to race today. So, you know, Wayne's loving every minute of this because finally he's got somebody to race. So we'll have to keep an eye on their lap times. Looks like Wayne was a little faster last lap by. We'll keep an eye on this. Oh, Wayne pushing here now. He sees the carrot. And did not have a good chicane there. But, yeah, this is a 4th annual race. We've got a really cool trophy on the line. We do the donation drive. Everybody's able to voluntarily contribute. One of the things that we have yet to do is we also have kind of a special category. Anybody who contributes $50 or more to CMS during the donation drive is also eligible for a raffle. Some of those drivers are here in the race today, but we had a whole lot of drivers can participate in the raffle and the donation drive in general. And so we'll be giving away a couple of prizes in that, which will be cool. So that'll happen after we celebrate the winner of this race. All right, we've got about 4 laps to go here, and oh, JT is starting to, oh, wow, rough. I hope he didn't damage the car there. That's what you call pushing. It's allowed Parker to get up to about 3 seconds now. Wayne Hutchinson here, not able to reel in Correa. Correa's after that spin's been able to gather it back up, stay kind of where he needed to be. So we're going to get on board with our leader here, and unless anything significantly changes, we're going to just enjoy our leader here and watch him. He's got a couple of more laps around the track, and then he's going to see a white flag. JT really pushing. I'm hoping I get a quick interview with the winner after the race. Barring any unforeseen issue, I'm expecting that to be Michael Parker. And Michael's still using every inch of the track, as is JT. JT's been quick. He just hasn't been able to get the track position he needed. He had a better pit stop. He's been every bit as quick as Michael. He's just way a little of the traffic happened and unfolded. All right, coming around the last corner for Parker. White flag in the air. What a dominant performance here in this race for Parker. And I know Michael, he is gonna love, if he can hold on to it here this last lap, he is going to absolutely love having his name on this list of winners for this event. He was in the race last year. This is at least his second time, maybe third, to compete in the race, but no trophies yet. And he is just a few seconds away, a few more corners, taking the win here at Limerock Park. Here he comes. All right, Michael Parker will be your winner, and he is excited of the 2024 donation race. Here comes JT Tammy in second position. Congratulations to the two of them. Let's follow along with our third place driver, Kevin Correa. Kevin's still a little bit of work to do on this lap. We're going to see them all through the line here on their last laps. Kevin started up front. Had a little bit of issues here and there throughout the race. Ended up, just kind of goes to show you the dominance of the top two, because we've got Kevin still coming around here in third position. Here he is. Kevin Correa will be your third man on the podium. Great run for Kevin. Congratulations. Just behind him is Wayne Hutchinson. Rodney Campbell has already finished in fifth. We got two drivers still coming to the finish. Actually, that we are done. That's Jarrett Skinner and Phil Elmore. And wow, what a terrific race and a terrific event as always. I thoroughly enjoyed doing it, bringing it to you guys, and being a part of it. So a huge congratulations, first and foremost, to everybody that attended the race, everybody that supported the community, everybody that was in the race today, and certainly last but not least, everybody that was able to finish the race. And then, of course, to our podiums, Kevin Correa, Michael Parker with the win, and JT Tammy in P2. Just amazing. Amazing stuff. Amazing time. Amazing race. Really, really enjoyed it. So while I'm here on broadcast, we'll see if we get Michael Parker to stop by. If he does, we will do a quick interview with him and celebrate this great accomplishment of his. But I'll thank a few people, all of our sponsors here at CMS that make the community possible, and all of our members, first and foremost, all of the supporters of our Champion Circle program and our VIP donor drive. Without each and every one of you, we just could not do this. And being able to put on these events and do this kind of thing is just absolutely terrific. So, really, really loved bringing it to you. And can't wait to do it again next year. And it looks like we got Michael here with us now. Michael, how are you, sir?
Hey, David. Doing well. How are you?
Oh, terrific. Congratulations. I can't wait to hear all about it. Man, I tell you what, it was JT kept you on your toes the entire race there, didn't he?
Yeah, he always does, and he's kind of low-powered cars. He's really good at keeping the line, and also he was fuel saving. I knew he was doing that from the beginning, so I didn't know what to do. I was just trying to attack, but also I knew it was going to be tight on fuel at the end. So um, yeah, I had a little bobble through the chicane there, but yeah, it was because I think it was trying to fuel save. It threw me off my normal rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
kind of bobbled, and I think that threw JT off there. But
Yeah, so
right.
tell me about the, I wasn't quite sure as I was calling the race here and really enjoyed calling it, what the strategies were going to be. It looked like all of you, pretty much everybody to a man, pitted right around the halfway point. What was the situation there? What was the fuel like at that time, or was it just split it in two? And then did you take tires on the stop or not?
Well, honestly, in practice, it was looking like I was gonna have to do a splash and dash, so I didn't even think I was gonna make it on the one stop. But midway through the race, I was like, okay, it definitely is possible to do one stop. But JT having the draft, he was able to pick up an extra lap or two fuel. So in the last stint, he was able to push, and I still had to save. So yeah, it was a little bit of a blessing that he got off of my draft kind of early on in the first stint, and second stint he was far enough away that he wasn't able to attack because he probably would have been good enough to overtake.
Yeah, and did you take tires at the stop?
Oh no, no,
No
yeah,
tires.
these, yeah,
Tires were hard and could last probably 3 or 4 events.
exactly. I knew these tires were rocks. So
Yeah. What did you think of driving these cars? Was this your first time to drive this car, or had you driven it before? And what were your thoughts on the vehicle?
it was fun. Never driven the car before the event. I did practice a few that you hosted before the
Hmm.
race, but yeah, they're fun. I've driven the Skippies. They're really similar to that. A little bit more playful, but yeah, T1. Based on what I was doing in practice, you really had to be careful with throttle. Carrying too much speed has no downforce, so you'll just do four-wheel slides right off course.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, especially in the final corner. There was a lot of guys who had issues and you know uh, near-death experiences. We did have one car, Michael Locke, who had a pretty big tank slapper in that final corner, just trying to keep the momentum up and hit the wall and had to take a fast repair. But by and large, generally, all of you out there today were competitive and had a good race. And, for, a smallish group of about 10 guys or so, it was still a really, really good battle. And it was fun to watch it all play out.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought Kevin was gonna keep it to JT for a little bit at the beginning to hold him off because I knew as soon as JT got by, he was just gonna fuel save, and I knew he can stay on a line like nobody's business.
Yeah,
So
he
yeah,
right, and he was just kind of nice and steady. He kept you on your toes, and Kevin Correa ended up on the podium Had a
Yeah.
good battle with Jarrett Skinner, and then Jarrett kind of had a slow pit stop and kind of lost his momentum after that. But, well, Michael, I tell you, this is at least the second trophy we're going to be mailing to you. And congratulations on that. I know you'll love it. We'll get some pictures of you with it once you get it. And you are the fourth annual winner of this really, really cool event. So I'll just share with you here real quickly who you're joining. Last year we had a multi-class race. Matteo Skeptura won Production Class 1. Cameron Barker in Production Class 2. I know a teammate of yours in some races.
Yep.
In 2022, Mark Johnson was the sports car class winner, and Mark Leclerc won touring car class. And in 2021, that was the last time we had a single class event. In the Radicals, Chris Schameller was the winner. So you took the second single class win this year, and I'm already looking forward to 2025. What car and track combo will we do then?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we could always go some power. I mean, V8 supercar maybe.
Yeah, something like that would be fun for sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed this as a little bit of your Super Bowl pregame. And anybody you want to give a shout out to before we wrap up here?
Yeah, just want to thank my wife and allow me to continue my hobby. Definitely supporting me on that, and of course, Champion Motorsports for hosting the event and all the donors that have been contributing to the league since I've joined and since before then.
Yeah, well, hey, I tell you what, and you're one of those, and we certainly appreciate it and appreciate you, and such a fun event to be a part of. And Michael, enjoy the rest of your day. I will get with you. We'll get a trophy headed your direction here soon, and congrats on the win.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, David. Looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. Have a good afternoon.
All right, you too. Thanks. See ya.
Bye bye. All right, we are going to wrap up here now from the broadcast. Great to have a few words there with Michael Parker and have him come over and talk to us. Just such a great guy and a good dear friend of mine. I've had the privilege of meeting Michael in person many, many times, sharing meals together, and he's just a super guy. I couldn't think of a better guy for this to go to. So great race from JT Tammy, Kevin Correa, Wayne Hutchinson in fourth. Rodney Campbell 5th, Jarrett Skinner 6th, Phil Elmore 7th, Michael Locke 8th, David James 9th. And again, a huge thank you to all of the donors for their huge contributions to CMS to make this possible. So we'll get this posted out on YouTube. Hope you all enjoyed the race. And until next time, hey, we'll see you out there on the track. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day and enjoy the Super Bowl.